So there's a video going around on YouTube right now which is titled Rent to Rent is finished in 2026. And if you've seen it or if you've seen anything like that, I want you to stay with me for the next 10 minutes because I'm going to show you exactly what's happening in the market right now. Not headlines, not fear mongering, not clickbait, the reality. Because here's what I find interesting. Every time there's a property regulation change, there's two types of people that emerge. The first type sees the headline, thinks worst case scenario, and then does nothing. They were going to start this property business right up until the point there's change come in, and then this is the reason why they don't start. The second type looks at the change and thinks, okay, what does this mean? What opportunities can come from this? Who does it affect? What behavior does this create? And guys, who do you think wins? The second type. So today I want to show you which side of this particular moment you want to be on. So let's start with what has actually just happened. On the 1st of May 2026, the Renters' Right Act come into force in England. And this is the biggest rental change that we've seen in the last 30 years. So the headlines are Section 21, the so-called no-fault eviction, where landlords can evict their tenants with no specific reason. But going forward, if landlords now want to evict their tenants, they have to have a specific lawful ground to evict them. That's significant shift in power towards the tenant. Then look at the second change, right? Fixed term tenancies. Traditionally, it used to be like 6 or 12 months. You'd lock that tenant in for 6 to 12 months. That used to be the backbone for lettings for decades. Poof, that's gone as well. All tenancies are now rolling periodic contract. So that means tenants can just move in and then the next day they can give you 2 months notice. 2 months notice is all they have, whilst landlords can only evict them with solid grounds to do so. And this one I actually agree with. Rent increases are now capped to just once a year with 2 months notice. Landlords can't just put the rents up whenever they feel like anymore. That I agree with. But if you look at all that and you think, oh, that sounds like a nightmare for the landlord, you're right. It is. For a lot of landlords, it absolutely is. But the real question is, sat amongst all of those rent to rent is dead videos, is what does a stressed, compliance weary, exhausted landlord do next? I want you to think about the type of landlord that has 1 or 2 properties. So you've got a landlord that bought a couple of properties, 10, 15 years ago, thought it would be passive, and then quickly discovered this business is not passive at all. They've been managing tenants, dealing with maintenance, voids, navigating the reference checks, falling out with estate agents because they're not delivering on what they said they would, staying on top of safety certificates, licensing rules, etc. And now on top of all of that, they've now got to understand the new legislation. That means new forms to serve to tenants and when and how. There's even businesses now, a bit like the PPI. If you were missold PPI, there's this. If you weren't served this by your landlord by X date, you're entitled to this. There's businesses now doing that. So landlords are well and truly like panicking. So there's new forms to serve, new compliance deadlines, new grounds for possession that they need to fully understand, the rules around rent increases, new databases that they now need to register and take action upon. So are landlords deciding it's not worth it anymore? And there is data around this. So they're either selling up, which reduces available renting stock, which pushes rent prices up, or they're looking for someone to take everything off their hands. The second group, the ones looking to keep their portfolio but reduce the stress and pass it on to someone, that's us, rent to renters. And right now, that group is bigger than it ever has been. Trust me when I say this. So the law didn't kill rent to rent. The law has actually created the most motivational pool of rent to rent landlords this generation has ever seen.
Madness. This is Sparta!
So let me be precise about why this matters for rent to rent specifically. So the main thing that makes landlords say yes to rent has always been the same thing. It's like they want reliable, stable cash flow, less stress, no voids, right? Guaranteed income without all of the management burden. So before that Renters' Right Act, our offer of that, the guaranteed income, less management, no voids, long-term tenancy, was attractive to a smaller amount of landlords, a specific landlord. The tired ones, the busy ones, the ones that had bad experience with previous tenants, had to spend 8 months getting them out with a refurb afterwards. those types of landlords. After the Renters' Right Act come in, our offer is now more attractive to a larger group of landlords, much larger, because the management burden has just got so much heavier. If it wasn't heavy before, it's so much heavier now. Also the compliance is now a lot higher, and the admin is so much more complex. So the pitch hasn't changed, but the amount of landlords that need your expertise, your offer, that's gone up drastically. Think about it from their perspective. You come in and say, I'll pay you a guaranteed rent every single month, paid straight to your account, on time, every single time, for the whole duration of the tenancy. Regardless of voids, I'll handle the tenants, the compliance, the maintenance, the admin. You don't touch any of it. You look after the structure of the property. That's it. A year ago, some landlords, I'd say it'd be like 5% of landlords. You ask 100 landlords, 5 might consider it. Today, far more will, because of the alternative. Don't forget, they're still operating whilst transitioning to a new management framework and trying to understand it. That will feel harder than it ever has done before. Now, I want to be honest with you guys, and I am in every single one of my videos. This isn't going to be simpler. There are things that you need to understand as rent-to-rent operators within the Renters' Right Act. Not to be scared of, just built around. So let's look at it from this point of view. You're running a HMO. Someone moves in, they can give you 2 months notice straight away. So if you're running a HMO, that turnover of tenants is riskier, especially between the months of November to April. It's harder to fill those rooms anyway with the old system. Now you're at higher risk. So you need to have a system for reletting rooms quickly. You need to be running a proper business, not just hoping tenants stay forever. So that's being truly optimized on the platforms such as Spare Room and all of the other smaller platforms where people are looking for rooms, but also having exit strategies. So running those rooms as Airbnbs to then convert to tenancies. So you can have your room on Airbnb for a month at a time. Also the restrictions on rent increases. For me, this isn't much of a change anyway. I used to always just increase the rent per year, never just as and when, and that would be within the contract anyway. So your financial model of your income, your cash flow from your tenants needs to be set and structured from the start. You have to protect your margins if you want to build a systemized, scalable business. That is the foundation thing you have to get right, is cash flow. You can't just assume what happens over the years. It's like, no. You might have a rental increase agreement with the actual landlord, so you have to meet that margin with the new tenants coming in. So when this goes up, the whole cash flow of the house goes up, and that has to be set. The expectation has to be set on the tenants from the start as well, that in a year's time, this is going to be the new rent, because your rent to the landlord would go up. Does that make sense? Then you've got the compliance burden. I wouldn't say it's a burden. This is your job. This is the value you provide to the landlord as an operator. That's why we're paid. We're the people managing everything. It's real. So you need proper agreements, proper insurance, proper licensing where required. If you're watching this isn't all new. This is what we've been doing for years. This isn't new information. The people that built this years ago on proper agreements, proper foundations and systems, they're not worried about the Renters' Right Act at all. I'm not worried in the slightest. I'll tell you why. Back in 2023, when the fire regs for serviced accommodation come in, it was all over YouTube. Airbnb is dead. Granted, I even did an Airbnb is dead YouTube thumbnail for clickbait. I didn't think it was dead. Never did for a second. You just adapt. You get your property fire compliant. And this is exactly the same thing. If you've built a solid business, compliance changes should not kill your business. You build something that holds up, stands the test of time. What the Act does do is remove all of the sloppy operators, which I'm really happy about. The ones with dodgy templates, or they've drafted them on ChatGPT, or downloaded from a silly forum from someone called Fred. Sorry if your name is Fred and you're watching this. And if it was you, then unsubscribe from my channel, Fred. There's loads of things to do. You have to check if it's an actual HMO. Don't just take a 6-bed house and run it as a HMO. You're breaking the law. So it's following all of things anyway. It's what we do. So the Renters' Right Act is not a threat. It's just a filter. And the market on the other side of that filter has less competition and more landlords and a clearer field to win. So like I said a second ago, this isn't the first time that so many people have said rent to rent is finished. It's game over. When licensing rules got stricter, people said it was over. When the tenant fee ban come in, people said it was over. When the interest rates of landlords' mortgages went sky high, people said landlords would never accept our offer now. When stamp duty changes hit, people said it was over. And every single time, what actually happened? The people that understood the change adapted. The ones who didn't, or the ones that weren't really serious to start with, stepped back. They lost. And the ones that stayed found a market with less noise, less competition, more opportunity, and more motivated landlords landlords than ever before. This is a pattern. It repeats because human psychology repeats. Fear of change creates a vacuum, and people that are smart and prepared, I walk straight into that vacuum every single time. The question is not whether rent-to-rent works in 2026. The question is, are you going to be the person that studies and goes with the change? Or be the person that watches the videos, reads the headline, and just goes, yeah, that's why I never went into that. Using it as another excuse to wait. So listen guys, if you've been doing your research and you understand this business model, maybe you've watched quite a few videos by now, and somewhere in the back of that mind of yours is someone saying, yeah, maybe it's not the right time, not quite ready yet. Is this still going to work for me? I want you to listen to this very clearly. The Renters' Right Act has not made this harder for the person starting right now. It has made it easier. People fear what they don't understand. The landlords who need our services are more motivated than ever before, and they're more ready to have a conversation now than they were 12 months ago. The compliance environment, granted, is more demanding, which means you just need to set up properly. You need to be absolutely professional. You need to be an absolute operator, which a lot of people aren't prepared to be. So now it's a competitive advantage. So the people that have seen the headlines, they're stepping back, which means the first call that you make to an estate agent or the first call that you make to a landlord, you're doing it in a market with less competition than there was a year ago. You are not late. If anything, now is the best time ever. So here's what I want you to do with this information. Not eventually, now, this week. Find a landlord and chat to them. Are they feeling slightly burdened with all of the changes? Are they stressed out? Have a conversation with them. You don't have to pitch them anything, just ask out of genuine curiosity. Find someone on Open Rent. Find a listing that's been advertised for more than 4 weeks. Someone who lists their property as self-managing, and then have a conversation with them and just say, would you ever consider having a small business take over your property and pay you guaranteed rent? And just see how receptive they are to that. That's it. No hard sell, no convincing, no pressure tactics, nothing. Just a human conversation to find out if this landlord is struggling with the complexity, regulation, rule changes, etc. Some will say no, some will not reply. Don't worry about that. This is still a numbers game. But some, more than ever before, will say yes. They'll be intrigued. Tell me more. But people are still scared to have a conversation. Conversations are exactly where it begins. Right. Every market shift creates two types of story. The story told by people that did not adapt, and the story told by those that did. And the Renters' Right Act is writing that story right now in real time across every town and city throughout England. The people that read the headline and step back and are scared and don't want to adapt, they'll be the ones telling other people it's like 2026 is the worst time to invest in property. The people that looked at that change and saw the opportunity within it and thought landlords will be struggling, they need my offer more than ever before, they're the ones that adapt. They're the ones that move, and they'll tell you a completely different story. You get to decide which story you're in. So if you want to go deeper and actually listen to a landlord that I spoke with in his kitchen of a HMO that I took on, then go and watch this video right here where you'll see the whole process, A to Z, of me securing a deal, and you'll listen to the pain points of the landlord and why they want to work with rent-to-renters. Don't miss this video. This is the most valuable video I've made on YouTube, so go and watch it.